one. KenCast.
Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Welcome to a very festive KenCast. It's great to have you with us today, whether you're celebrating Christmas or celebrating Hanukkah, or just in a very festive mood. Welcome. Welcome to this special discussion about that special time of year where we reflect on everything that we have and everything that we're thankful for. And I know for myself, I'm thankful for a number of things. I'm thankful for all of you who I've gotten to know, this wonderful community all over the globe. So thankful that you've joined us today, whether you're watching live or on the replay. Say hello in our live chat or in the comments. It's great to have you watching. And I'm thankful for a number of other things too. Obviously, I talk a lot about entertainment. The great entertainments that we have, movies and TV shows. I'm thankful for the series Cobra Kai. And I'm especially thankful for a certain character in Cobra Kai. That's right, Terry Silver. What a great villain. What a great villain that has been unfairly cast as a villain. And I think after today, and you watch this live stream, you'll agree with me that Terry Silver is actually far from a villain. He's actually the character that best embodies the spirit of the holidays. So it's wonderful to have you with us today. I'm so glad to celebrate here with my snowmen, Santa friends. Got a nice mug of something here. And it's great to have you here. And I just want to, before we get started, I want to say hello to all of you. Kim, good to see you, Kim. We love you, Terry. Indeed, we do love Terry Silver. Marco, I can't wait. It's happening. Terry Silver rocks. Great to see you. Ben Mattello, Merry Christmas, everyone. And a Christmas to you, too. Merry Christmas to you, too, as well. Sebastian, Merry Christmas. Great to see you. Relectify streams. Merry Christmas, Ken. Enjoy your day, bro. Yes, absolutely. We'll all, I think, enjoy this holiday. Flip the script. Merry Christmas, Ken and everyone. Bryce Productions, great to see you. Mario, wonderful. Merry Christmas. Peter Vonasak, happy holidays. Ken, did you add a special something into your hot toddy? Oh, you know, I won't talk about that. Of course, I can't ever drink anything as fine as what Terry Silver has on offer. He really goes around the world to get the best of the best. You know, we just kind of do what we can to enjoy the meager things we have. But even those things can keep us pretty happy. I want to actually, now that we have Peter Vonasak up, he runs Cobra Kai Companion Podcast. And it's a great podcast. It tells us all about the Cobra Kai series. He has another podcast called Podstalgic you should definitely check out. But I want to just celebrate him, especially because not just because of his great work for Cobra Kai, but because he is a postal worker in this time of intense gift giving. He is delivering presents. He's working overtime. I also want to give a shout out to Mikey Graff, who's also a postal worker. It is one of the country's oldest and most honorable professions. And I don't think many of us would be able to have a happy holiday season if it weren't for the great postal workers in this country. Thank you so much, Peter. I really appreciate all the work you put in, especially this time of year. Army Men Life, Merry Christmas. Great to see you. Merry Christmas. Lucas. Hello, Lucas. And Terry Johnson. Wonderful to see you, Terry. Crazy Prog, Merry Christmas, Ken. Hope you enjoy the holidays with family and friends. Thanks for doing the stream. Absolutely. I can't think of a better way to get excited for Christmas than to be spending it with all of you, my online friends. What a wonderful community. And I will say, every person who's come onto a KenCast, who's come onto this channel and has had the pleasure of interacting with you, I've said it before, but it's true. The people who comment, the people who contribute to the discussion, they are among the best communities on the internet. And I am so lucky that you are all here and to benefit just from your company and your great thoughts. So thank you for joining us today. Lisa Barrett, wonderful to see you, Lisa. That's great. Peaceful Skull Gaming, Cobra Kai never dies. That's right. Terry Johnson, good to see you. Jesse Cove fan, wonderful to see you, Jesse Cove fan. And Ben Metello, eggnog in that mug. Well, I feel warm. I feel warm. Uh, Tammy, great to see you. Terry celebrating Christmas in jail. Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Well, we'll talk about all of that. We need to talk about all that. Big T himself, Big T. A very Merry Christmas to you, sir. A very Terry Christmas to you. Big T. Thank you. It's always an honor when you join us. Even if you're inside of jail, outside of jail, I'm not sure. Marco says, I wish you all Merry Christmas with the additional wish you will learn from Terry the same values I've learned: honesty, compassion, and fair play. Wonderful. Marco, I couldn't have said it better. It's just wonderful words: honesty, compassion, and fair play. Wonderful values. David Jarvis, great to see you. Hi, Ken. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you. Marianella. Hi, Ken. Hi, everyone. Merry Christmas to all from Argentina. Well, a very Merry Christmas to you in Argentina as well. Thank you, Marianella. It's always great to see you. Peter says, very kind of you to say. Had to hide underneath someone's porch to reply. Oh, no. I've heard reports that Peter is braving the snow and ice to get your holiday packages to you. Peter, we thank you so much. It's wonderful, everything you do. Stuart Young, hello, hello. Wonderful to see you, Stuart. Jared says, Merry Christmas from Massachusetts. It's my home state. Much love to you all. I'm in Billerica. My cousins live in Billerica. Whereabouts are you from, Ken? Well, yes, I grew up in Massachusetts. Actually, I grew up in the wonderful town of Medfield. And I hope they're doing well this Christmas. In fact, I'm not sure what the weather is up there. Did you guys get a lot of snow? I bet it's pretty cold. But of course, I'm kind of sympathizing with you. I'm in Southern California. It's like 70 degrees. But I can feel that great cold Christmas spirit up in the Northeast. So so that's where I grew up, and it's very close to my heart. I hope you guys are having a great Christmas in Billerica. Big T wishes us all a very Merry Christmas. That's great. Bryce Productions, what was it like meeting Thomasine Griffith? Well, it was great. He was just absolutely fantastic. I just got to meet him briefly at Paley Fest, and he's the thing that struck me the most about Thomasine Griffith in that brief time I got to meet him was that he is completely unlike Terry Silver. He is like the kindest, most disarming, gracious person. Unbelievable. And I think he even recognized me from the videos. So it's really it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. And so if you get a chance to meet him in person at a convention or anything, that's what I've heard. He's just amazing. We had Tig Daly, Christine, who's been on the show multiple times, and she got to meet him in person. And he really just spent so much time talking with her and everything. So he's just a very gracious guy. And I think really would embody the holiday spirit 100%. So very, very cool. Flip the script. A very Merry Terry Christmas. Yes, indeed. Denisa says, Merry Christmas, everyone. May your homes be full of joy and laughter. All I want for Christmas is Cobra Kai season 6 and Terry out of jail. Yes. So let's talk about that. I agree. If there's anything I could ask for Christmas right now, it would be Cobra Kai season 6. It's still possible. Maybe within the next day or so they could make an announcement. It's probably not likely, but I hope we get word of a Cobra Kai season 6, because we need to get Terry Silver out of legal peril. That's what we're working on. He obviously doesn't deserve to be in there, and I'm working on a number of projects to help get him out, to raise awareness about him being undeservedly imprisoned. He needs to get out of jail. And so, you'll see, I think you've seen in some of my videos, the Save Silver campaign. And this campaign is meant to motivate people to call their representatives and get them to get Terry Silver out of jail. He has so much to give the world. And so one of the things I wanted to give you guys who are watching this stream today is, you might have noticed below my videos, for fun, I have created some Save Silver merchandise. If you do want to wear any of this stuff, you can actually order it. And for anyone watching this stream today, use that code Terry Christmas for 10% off on merch. Just something, hopefully if that makes it a little easier to wear this Save Silver stuff. That's fantastic. I know this custom order stuff is more pricey than you'd find in a normal store. This is, I just got this. This is a present I got today. Look at this. This is a Save Silver dad cap. That's what they call it. And very cool. And I look forward to wearing this out in the world to get Terry Silver out of jail. And let's talk about Terry Silver being in jail. The worst thing we can do, I think, is take a great man, a great philanthropist, and put him in jail. Someone who has done countless things to help people, to help the disadvantaged, to help employ people, and to cast him into prison. To me, that reminds me of all the lessons I've learned from countless Christmas stories, including A Christmas Carol and all these things. It's just the spirit of ungratefulness that chokes our everyday life needs to be lifted at Christmas time. Hopefully we can open our eyes and have love for our fellow man and woman and everyone, children, because that's what Terry has. And so I hope during this spirit of Christmas, the entire holiday season, people can see clear to look past maybe their first impressions of this man called Terrence Silver and see that he has been a philanthropist for decades. He has been giving to so many people, and maybe together we can get him out of prison. Of course, we'll only know if we have more Cobra Kai. So let's all wish for Santa to bring us Cobra Kai season 6, so we can find out how Terry Silver gets out of jail and how he ends up winning the world. Right? Yes, I agree. I agree. So wonderful to see all your comments. Peter says, I have no sources, but if I had to guess, an announcement will come in January. Okay, that's fine. One of the things sometimes we lack in our modern society is this concept of delayed gratification. And sometimes we want for something to happen, but it doesn't happen right away. But if we're able to be patient, then that just builds our own character. And so I think if we can be patient for an announcement in January that Peter's just guessing, then that's great. We can do that. We'll be better people. And all the hardship that Terry Silver had to go through, from his experience in the war, probably his experience growing up with his dad, which wasn't probably a cakewalk. His character has become very resilient, and some might say a little too extreme. I understand, and I think that's understandable. But at the end of the day, he's had to put up with so many things, and he's achieved so much. And I think part of that is patience, and he realizes that he needs to be patient, and that just makes him better as a person, and it eventually makes his enemies regret it. So yes, absolutely. Tig Terry Silver Rocks, thank you so much for the super chat. It helps support the channel, helps keep the lights on here. I really appreciate your contribution. Thanks so much. What a wonderful holiday present. Thank you. Tig Terry Silver Rocks says season 6 announcement would be the best New Year's present. I agree. And after seasons 3 and 4 releasing around New Year's, it feels like there should be something Cobra Kai related around New Year's. So I hope that happens. That would be absolutely great. I hope right now John, Josh, and Hayden and everyone on the Cobra Kai production are deep into some extremely favorable negotiations for the future of Cobra Kai. 100%. Marian Ellis says free Silver, save Terry Silver. Yeah, I agree. And it's this concept of freeing Terry Silver and saving Terry Silver I want to talk about today, because Peter from the Cobra Kai Companion podcast, he posted a poll, and I want to show this. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see this. This is about Terry Silver, and people voted for this, and it was basically a simple question: should Terry Silver be considered naughty or nice for Santa's list? And 81% of people in this poll voted him naughty. Naughty. Now, I'm not totally surprised. I mean, I'll be honest, but I'm hoping that by getting the message out there, we can see all the nice stuff that Terry does, right? And so I thought that maybe when Peter put up this Cobra Kai companion poll that maybe he caught like the wrong crowd. So what I did was both on YouTube and on uh, Twitter, I have put up my own poll, and let's just see where we're at right now. Okay, where is? How about this one? Let's do the YouTube one. Yeah, this is it. Okay. So just sharing the screen here, and let's refresh. What are we at? Okay, so 65 votes. Oh no, no, oh people, oh they're voting him naughty. No, oh that's okay, guys. Well, okay, if there's one thing that kind of gives me hope, we do have comments. Sammy has commented. Also, definitely want to see him get out of jail. Yes. And do a final comeback for the finale. Yes. He was misunderstood. Thank you so much, Sammy. The only thing he definitely did really bad was on Stingray. Right. And also when Tori was injured in season 5. Well, I guess he kind of tacitly approved that. Kim Da-eun was to blame for that too, but really look forward to the development of her character in the Kim family. Yeah, I agree with that. Average J Retro says Terry Silver's the absolute best. I'm 100% on board with that. Brady Hensley says Terry Silver has been a very naughty Cobra this year. Well, baby, I don't know. Rich says naughty mentally, but he'll play nice. Right. The man needs to get out of jail someday. I completely agree with that. So, guys, if you have not voted in this YouTube poll yet, go ahead and vote. And whether you vote naughty or nice, I hope a lot of you, having watched my content, will agree that Terry Silver does not deserve to be labeled as naughty. He deserves some nice. And so, please, however you feel, go ahead and vote. I had a similar poll on Twitter. Let's see if I can bring that up. Let's see here. Yes, here we are. Oh no. Oh, okay. Hang on. Oh, this is good. Well, we've got 9 votes, but look at this. Look at this. 55% say Terry Silver is nice so far. Isn't that wonderful? Wonderful, guys. Thank you all for voting. If you voted, uh, he's we need to actually kind of go beyond here, saying he's nice, because we need to look at the people who have put him in prison. I mean, look at these people. Okay, we're meant to sympathize with them, I suppose, but to me, they look very, I don't know, it looks like they've got some cash. They look very privileged. They look like they're used to having the upper hand in life. And I don't know how much they've really given to society. How much have they achieved and how much have they given? Daniel, especially, he owns a car dealership, and I'm not sure how much charitable contributions he's made to the world. And then we compare that with someone who has worked so hard and made billions and has given so much to the world, and had to put up with so much from so many people. And I look at these people smiling, and I think back to all the events in Cobra Kai season 5, and just how many times they tried to block Terry from doing some good. And why did they do that? Because they think somehow Cobra Kai is wrong. It doesn't make sense. Or maybe they're jealous that Terry can make Cobra Kai into a huge franchise. It's really too bad. And there was never an attempt by them to sit down in true holiday spirit and just talk with them. I'm sure they could have come to some kind of agreement, but they refused to do that, which is really too bad. So, everyone, what I'm going to do is I'm going to propose that Terry Silver is neither nice or naughty, but if there is a Santa Claus, Terry's a Santa Claus. And that's what I want to do today is I want to ask you, if Terry Silver was Santa Claus, what would you ask him for? Now think about it. Like this is a man who has access to everything in the world. He's rich. He's a billionaire. He's seen the good side of humanity. He's seen the bad side of humanity. He's probably honestly experienced himself both sides of humanity and behave that way. And I'm sure he's sorry for some things he's done. But if he were Santa Claus, what would you ask him for? That's what I want to know. And I'm thinking about this question myself. I don't quite know how to answer it. Uh, because it's easy to ask for something for yourself, but would you ask Terry for something for someone else? Would it be something small? Would it be something big? Would it be like a toy? Would it be a car if he were Santa Claus? But we think about people, say, like Tori, who unfortunately whose parents are not doing well, and there are some things in life that are just very expensive but very necessary, including medical care. And someone like Terry could provide that. Someone like Terry could set up a foundation to provide care for disadvantaged people. And I bet he's done that. But but it's okay. It's your wish. What would you ask Terry Silver for Christmas? That's my simple question for you. Let's see what some of you say. Um, Flip the script. Terry's very naughty, but I like that. I like that. Yeah, I agree. Shin Dark Night Detective says, make his knuckles bleed. Yeah, yeah, he does that too. He's a tough guy, Terry Silver. Lucas, I would ask him to go to jail. Oh dear. Oh no. Uh, obvious, obvious dude. Hey, Ken Cole, Merry Christmas. And Merry Christmas to you too as well. Bryce Production says, Ken Cole, do you think the reason season 6 hasn't been announced is because the creators are waiting for Hilary Swank to not be pregnant so she can have a big role in season 6? I don't know. That's a really good question. I think honestly, regardless of the schedule, I know that there's going to be a time when she is definitely not going to be available to shoot anything because she is about to have babies. But I bet there is a way to, whenever it's greenlit, uh, to schedule Hilary Swank to appear, probably at the beginning of the schedule, the end of the schedule, and if I'm right, Courtney Hengler who plays Amanda, she was pregnant, I believe, the first or second season. So there are all kinds of ways in filmmaking to hide the fact that someone might be pregnant. So I think that maybe they wouldn't uh, schedule an announcement around that, because it would just be announcing the fact that there is a season 6. That might be more of an internal scheduling thing. So I don't think that's the announcement, because or that's what's delaying the announcement. Because honestly, if they do include Hilary Swank in season 6, I guarantee you they will try to keep that under wraps until they're ready to actually promote the season. But that would be a huge get. Now, one thing I could say is that maybe they are trying to negotiate the budget for season 6 that would allow everyone to participate, and that would potentially cover Hilary Swank's fee, whatever that is. I don't know, but wouldn't that be exciting if Hilary Swank were part of season 6? Masters of the Universe Thunder, is Terry Silver more bad guy than the Joker? No, not at all. Joker's crazy. Joker's absolutely crazy. Terry's not crazy. He has very specific goals, and he knows what he wants. And he's not. Yeah, Joker is just, he's homicidal. Joker. He's crazy. So I think Terry Silver is definitely not more of a bad guy than Joker, and I'd argue he's not really a bad guy at all. Peter says, I would ask for a plane ticket to Tahiti. Perfect. I love that. Yes. As we saw, great things happen on Terry Silver funded trips to Tahiti, as John Kreese can tell you. Terry says, nah, Joker's worse than Terry. I agree. Marianella, my wish would be a Christmas bonus for Ken Cole. Oh, that'd be great. Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it. And I'll admit, sometimes I try to kiss up maybe a little too much in the hopes that maybe I can shake that money tree and get a little something from Terry. But we'll see. We'll see. But I appreciate that. Marianella, I'll submit that for review for the powers that be. Dusan says, I would ask for a physical therapist. You'd probably get me an evil one. No, he would get you the best one. Let's be honest. If he got you a physical therapist, it would be the best physical therapist in the entire world. So yes, I think that's a great thing to ask for. TJ Carr says, Merry Christmas, Sensei Ken. Merry Christmas, TJ. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I hope all of you are having a wonderful day. Terry says, I would ask for Cobra Kai lessons from Santa Silver. Yeah, that is something that I think he would be very willing to give you. Uh, and probably give you sort of a balanced view of martial arts. Sometimes you have to be aggressive in order to defend yourself and to win. So I'm sure he would share those lessons with you. Marinella says maybe they'll bring back Julie Pierce for the season 6 finale. Maybe so. I like that thought. I like that. I think there's a possibility, and I'm hoping that this is the case, is what they're doing right now is negotiating multiple seasons or multiple instances of Cobra Kai, whether it's another season and follow-up movies. I know that William Zabka and Ralph Macchio have talked maybe about Cobra Kai movies following the series. So it's possible that there could be another season, then go into movies. But I'm wondering if they are negotiating potentially the budget for multiple seasons at once, because that would be nice. It sounds like they did that with seasons 4 and 5. Netflix greenlit 2 seasons at once, and they were able to shoot those really within a year and release them both within a year. And that'd be nice, for story purposes, story planning purposes, if they did that for, say, season 6 and 7. So if that's the case, someone like Julie Pierce might be involved in Cobra Kai more than just season 6, or maybe she'd show up at the end of season 6 and then be a part of season 7. Of course, I'm also rooting for Michael Ironside somehow to appear as Colonel Dugan. That would be incredible. I would love to see a scene that had Colonel Dugan, Terry Silver, and John Kreese. All those great actors. Thomasine Griffith, wonderful actor. Martin Kove, wonderful actor. And Michael Ironside together. I mean, they play, in my mind, those actors have played some of the greatest villains in movie history, and to have them all in the same scene would be incredible. Maybe I'd ask Terry for that for Christmas. Peaceful Skull Gaming, come by. Yes, indeed. Flip the script. Peter, go give Momoa and her girlfriend a squeeze. Yeah. Denitza, I would ask him to make me the HR manager of Dynatox or whatever his company name is. That I love that idea. I love that idea, Denitza. And so I see you work in HR. That is a very crucial part of any organization. And I've always wondered, what's the corporate culture like within Dynatox? The HR department really helps to set, of course, the corporate culture for any organization. And so I can tell if he put you as head of HR in Dynatox, that would probably be listed as one of the best places to work in the world, beating out Google. I know that that would probably be a wonderful job full of perks. A lot of people think that he would be very hard on his employees, but I think Terry would set up just a wonderful situation where people would enjoy going to work. They would be very productive. He would bring the best people in to see what kind of incentives, what kind of environment produces the best conditions for productivity. Because remember, he wants the best out of everything. So I think just if you're watching Big T, consider hiring Danita for HR for Dynatox. I think that would be a wonderful suggestion. And good luck. And let me know if they end up doing that. Thank you for your comment. MOTU Thunder, Jean-Claude Van Damme in Cobra Kai. That would be awesome. Yeah. Oh, so many great martial arts actors in Cobra Kai. So many great fight scenes, and you could bring in any of these actors, and it would be fantastic. I wonder somehow if Sylvester Stallone might show up in Cobra Kai. I know he's voiced his support for the series, and of course they've referenced Rocky. And wouldn't it be amazing if Johnny somehow ran into Sylvester Stallone? And it could happen because the entire show takes place in Los Angeles. So who knows? Disco Kid, who would win in a fight, Terry or Bigfoot? I love this question. I think it's a reference to Bigfoot and Me. That's a short film that I did. Very fun. Check it out if you haven't seen it. It's tough. I asked this question to Coleman Degman, who's the brilliant actor who played Bigfoot in Bigfoot and Me, and he had to admit that Terry would win. In fact, it would be no contest. Terry would take down Bigfoot, and I believe him. If the actor who played Bigfoot says that Terry Silver would take down Bigfoot, I think that pretty much settles it. So that's what I would say. I don't know what any of you would say. Peter says, I love these videos. Thank you, Peter. I'll tell you something. I love them too. And I think all of the great thoughts and conversation that you all make are what make these videos great. So it's just great. Terry, Terry Silver. Yeah. I mean, so many great things that Terry has done. Um, let's list them. I want to remind people of the question and think about this. If Terry Silver was Santa Claus, what would you ask him for? And then also the store, if you're into saving silver, I promised during the stream there would be a code. So for those of you watching this video right now, use the code Terry Xmas for 10% off on merch in the store, which is all just Save Silver merch. And that should be in effect until December 31st. So yeah, Marco says Terry is as tall as Bigfoot. Maybe. See, Terry might have long legs. I mean, what would Bigfoot do if Terry came in for a kick? I don't think Bigfoot has even considered that type of attack. So I think Bigfoot is big and strong, but those are the types of opponents that Terry is just expert at bringing down. So yeah, I think Terry would win, unfortunately for Bigfoot. Terry Johnson, Merry Christmas, Ken. I hope you have a wonderful day. Merry Christmas to you too. And thank you, Terry, for being part of this conversation today. We love Terry Silver. And even if you don't love him or you don't think he's nice and you think he is naughty, I think everyone can admit it's just an incredible character, played by an incredible actor, Thomas Ian Griffith. I think that has been one of the things I've been most thankful for, is that all of us who were Terry Silver fans back in the day, we knew how great Thomas Ian Griffith is as an actor. And he has gone into, he's very talented. He's gone into many different things. He's gone into producing and writing. And he's obviously an incredible musician as well. He has so many talents. And he basically chose to come back to acting with this role, Terry Silver in Cobra Kai. And it's such a tour de force. It's so amazing. And, I'll just say this. A lot of people accuse the character of Terry Silver of being over the top. And if you look at him in Karate Kid 3, you could say that the character went over the top a little bit. My understanding, from interviews with Thomas Ian Griffith, is that John Alvinson wanted it that way. He wanted to go bigger and bigger, bigger. And if you watch Cobra Kai season 5, though, you see Thomas Ian Griffith dial in perfect anger, especially in that finale. Look how he gets angry. It is pitch perfect. It is not over the top. It is enraged and totally believable. And it's just amazing, I think, that Thomas Ian Griffith can play all of those notes. And sometimes it's fun to go over the top. He can do that. But sometimes he can just nail you with like these perfectly tuned emotions. It's really fantastic. Marianella says, Captain Dugan, Kreese, and Terry Silver versus Johnny Chosen and Mike Barnes. Wow. That's really something. Now, some of you may have seen a video I did on who could win, like for the senseis, and I did say that Colonel Dugan was not very impressive in the next Karate Kid in terms of his fighting skills. We don't know for sure. Maybe Captain Dugan is much more powerful. And I had an idea that Colonel Dugan was actually in that POW camp in season 3 in those flashbacks, that he was the first soldier we saw who knocked the other soldier into the pit who was fighting, and he looked really shell-shocked as he came back into the jail cell that Terry talks to. I had an idea that could be Colonel Dugan. So, he could have some pretty decent fighting skills, but I think out of all of them, Colonel Dugan is definitely the most affected and probably the most messed up mentally out of all of those. He's just very unhinged in Next Karate Kid. So I think he'd be kind of a loose cannon if he came into the series, which could be very exciting. MOTU Thunder, how will Terry Silver rebuild Cobra Kai now he lost all his students? I think that it looks like a huge setback, but Terry is just very good at persuasion and changing people's opinions. The Twitter handle Joseph Cobra Kai, everyone should follow, had an amazing idea, and that's that Terry knew in his fight with Daniel that everything was being recorded. You know, he has his video system, and that the entire video of Daniel beating up Terry Silver would basically, it could ruin Daniel, and that Terry Silver would have access to that. And so I wouldn't be surprised if in season 6 Terry releases that video publicly. I mean, look at what happened to Daniel's business with that school fight. Now look and see what would happen if the owner of LaRusso Auto is beating up this philanthropist that he beat up during the fundraiser that with Amanda that Terry was hosting at his house. Daniel beat him up, and now look at what he did. So I think personally, Terry could wage a very strong PR war that could ruin Daniel professionally, and maybe could change the thoughts and minds of some of the students, you know, who are swayed by the evil influence of Daniel and Johnny and Chosen and Mike Barnes. And I wouldn't be surprised if some of those characters end up going to jail, because those are the ones who actually committed crimes on camera. Just something to think about. Just something to think about. Marco, I wish you will interview Thomas one day. That I would be totally on board with that, 100%. And I think I would love that to happen. And if it does, I think you know, we do an amazing interview with lots of supporting clips and almost like a documentary. So that would be a lot of fun. I agree. Peaceful Skull says Terry Silver, such a great character. Yes, he is. Biz 120, why would people think he is great? He is undeniably evil. Well, you know, I don't know if he's evil. I think if you look at it from his perspective, he has goals he wants to accomplish, and he's very good at accomplishing goals. Think about what Daniel and company did to block Terry Silver. Is it inherently bad that he wants to spread his fighting style in the Cobra Kai dojo across the world? I don't know. I think that's what any good teacher would do. Is it bad that he wants to give underprivileged kids free lessons? No, not at all. Is it bad that Daniel just wants to stop Terry Silver? Well, not bad that he wants to stop Terry Silver, but look at everything that Daniel and Chosen and Johnny were doing to just interfere with Terry's business. And Terry gave them so many opportunities to stop. Just stop. You don't have to do this. And think about this. What would Mr. Miyagi advise Daniel to do? Think about Mr. Miyagi from the Karate Kid movies. What would he advise Daniel to do in this situation? Would he advise Daniel to do the things that he did? I don't think so. I think he would advise Daniel against his inner demons, because Daniel, as I think Amanda says very eloquently, you know, he just can't stop. It's almost like Daniel gets obsessive. And just because Daniel feels something's right, he thinks the world should bend to that. And that's not true. You know, we live in a world with people with all different opinions, and they're free to share their ideas. You know, people are free to open dojos. But Daniel, it's like he wants to police the world of martial arts. And, you know, I can understand that people want to sympathize with Daniel. I can understand that. And Daniel's a cool character. Well, just masterfully played by Ralph Macchio. You guys should check out his book if you haven't read it yet. But at the same time, Daniel, I think, has a very self-important attitude that I don't think Mr. Miyagi would be for. And, you know, Terry just wants to do what he wants to do. He's spent his whole life serving the country. I'm sure he's done things he regrets. Is it a bad thing that Terry Silver put John Kreese in jail? I don't know. He saw John Kreese as an obstacle. You know, we've seen what John Kreese has done as far as manipulation. So I don't know. Maybe that in some way that's something he just needed to do, and that would make the world better. But Terry Silver wouldn't mess with Daniel or anyone unless Daniel messed with him. So I don't think he's evil. Anyway, I don't know. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. Let's see. Marco says maybe Terry was visiting Dugan in the hospital. It's very true. It's very true. That could be possible. Stuart says, I wonder how likely Kreese is to team up with Terry again. Yeah, honestly, this is something I hope happens. I don't know how it can happen. It looks like their relationship is pretty far gone. We had Governor, who you've seen in the comments before. He's a channel member, and his name's Ander. We had a members-only stream, and I think we've got to get these guys on because they had such eloquent thoughts. Ander did about, hey, Chris Klotz, if you're watching, just about what could happen and how they could get together again. And Andrew brought up a good point that yes, it's very bad, but maybe if there's an opportunity where they can fight it out, come to an understanding, because it goes both ways. Kreese was trying to manipulate Terry, and Kreese did want to put Terry in his place. So I don't know. You could say that Terry went above that and put Kreese in jail. But really, I don't know. Maybe with the history between these two, it's a very unique relationship. It's a very dysfunctional relationship. But maybe if they can somehow fight it out and come to some kind of understanding, they could team up again. You know, they could realize, I think as Andrew put, that they're stronger together than apart. So that would be interesting to see. Jay Wiggin, I want to see Terry's lawyers in action. Yes. Terry's lawyers and perhaps Terry's acquaintances as well. We don't know what happened to Willie Cole from Karate Kid 3. He was the DA back in 1985. Is he still around? Was he kind of a young DA at the time? Could he still be working in the DA's office? Is he related to other Coles? Like, for instance, Tom Cole. What is going on in Terry's legal world? Do they like him still? Did he screw over Willie Cole at one point? Or is Willie Cole still kind of on his payroll? I think Terry probably has a lot of friends still in high places. But I agree. I want to see Terry's lawyers in action. I think that could be a lot of fun. Cinema Fan 97, do you think Sensei Kim's dojo back home is also called Cobra Kai, or do you think it has a different name? I'm thinking it has a different name. It sounds like the Cobra Kai name was something that John Kreese and Terry Silver came up with, maybe based upon John Kreese's fight over the Pit of Cobras. So I bet that Sensei Kim's dojo has a different name, though I think that is one of the most fascinating parts. And I am looking forward to seeing what she will do in the future, if she'll continue to work with Terry, or maybe she'll try to take everything over. She's very, very strong-willed, and I think she has a very deep motivation to rescue her father's image and to cement her grandfather's legacy. So we shall see. Marianella says, I think Terry could convince Kenny and then his brother to join Cobra Kai. Plus, I think he could also convince new students to join his dojo. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, what happens? What happens if the Payne brothers are both in Cobra Kai? I mean, that's pretty unstoppable. You know, if he gets released, what if he joins Cobra Kai? I think that Terry's persuasive enough to get people who think they're in Miyagi Fang right now and maybe switch over to Cobra Kai. I think he is. If Terry wanted to do that, I think he could. I wonder if it's possible for Terry to even convince Johnny to go over and teach for Cobra Kai. I don't know. They've been through a lot, but Terry has like superpowers of persuasion. So we'll see. Lucas says, I like Karate Kid 3 Terry more than Cobra Kai Terry Silver, to be honest. There is something magical about that character in Karate Kid 3. And I know from everything I've heard in Karate Kid 3, it's almost like Robert Mark came in, was trying to come up with this supervillain that could outdo Kreese, and he was trying to do it very quickly. I think within 3 weeks of shooting, he had to create the character of Terry Silver. And I think it's the combination of just going so big with the character and then casting Thomasine Griffith in the role. It was just everything kind of came together, and he was able to handle, we talked about those over the top moments, but the thing is, when Thomasine Griffith goes over the top, it is just relentlessly entertaining and fun. You can tell he's having fun being evil, and it's just kind of a wonderful experience. And perhaps it's that absolute glee of Terry Silver being who he is and just enjoying masterminding everything that the Terry Silver in Cobra Kai, I think he's maybe saddled with a few more issues. Life, certain things have weighed on him over the years, certain goals he wants to accomplish. That's different than, say, Terry back in Karate Kid 3, who was just basically on top of the world and doing everything just for fun. He had everything just at his fingertips, and he decided to put it aside to focus on an old man and a kid just for fun, basically, and maybe nominally to help his friend. That's just kind of a unique experience. It's like he had nothing to lose, and he was doing everything just for the pure enjoyment of it. And that's a different Terry than we see in Cobra Kai. So I could see that. I think that Terry in Karate Kid 3 had a bit more glee, than in the Cobra Kai series. Viz120 says Terry Silver acts nice, but he uses manipulative tactics to people. Yes, I totally agree. Great comment. I think he's the master manipulator. And I think the question is, do you agree with what he's trying to achieve or not? I guess if you don't agree with what he's trying to achieve, you're looking at that manipulation. That could be a bad thing. But if you see value in what he's trying to achieve, maybe there's an end goal to that manipulation. But it's fun to watch Terry work. I think that's one of my favorite things about that character. David Jarvis, what will happen when Kreese and Terry Silver meet again, maybe? I don't know. That's a really good question. I think if they do meet again, there has to be a fight. I think there's going to be some kind of fight. And I've always thought Terry Silver is better than John Kreese, at least from the Karate Kid movies on. Maybe back in the war, John Kreese was better, but we'll see. I don't know. Maybe John Kreese has been thinking in his brain, planning how he would put Terry in his place again. So, and he does understand Terry probably better than anyone. So who knows what could happen in that fight. Kim says, how soon do you think they'll bring Terry back? If so, what season? I think Terry will be back in the very first episode of season 6. I don't think he's going to be in jail very long at all. I think that what looked like a victory at the end of season 5 for Daniel Chosen and Johnny and Mike Barnes will turn out to be the opposite very quickly. And I think that reversal will be one of the things that propels season 6 forward. That's just my guess. Well, we shall see. AEH says Daniel is such a hypocrite. He thinks he's so much better than Cobra Kai. Daniel is the one who had problems with Johnny and tried to stop him. He did the same thing with Silver. Right. And it's been interesting looking at the show. It really kind of started off mainly from Johnny's perspective, but we could see that Johnny was just trying to do something good from his perspective. And Daniel was the one who was trying to stop him. And Daniel might have had his reasons, but again, Daniel assumes that what he thinks is right for the entire world. But we saw with Johnny that wasn't the case. And you're right, Daniel is doing the same thing again with Terry Silver. So, it's been interesting looking at the Cobra Kai side of things, and that Daniel, however well-intentioned you think he is, maybe just isn't doing things the right way. So we'll see what happens. Kim says, Terry J, I love Terry too, all Cobra Kai. Yes, totally agree. Cobra Edits, good to see you. Terry could just get Sean to join Cobra Kai and use that to get Kenny to make him rejoin. Yes, there are ways to rebuild Cobra Kai, and I think pretty quickly, especially if Terry runs a major PR campaign against Daniel and company. I think he could swing people back. Flip the Script says Kim's version of Cobra Kai in season 6 might be the darkest and strongest version there's ever been. Yeah, maybe so. Maybe Kim Daun is going to take over the Cobra Kai dojo away from Terry, and who knows what that'll be. And in comparison to Terry, she might be the big bad in a way. And so we might be a little more sympathetic to what Terry was trying to do. We never know. Stewart says, surely the Cobra Kai dojos would have difficulty recruiting after the PR following Terry's arrest. We'll see. I think Terry's going to flip that PR pretty quickly and pretty efficiently. I think that the arresting officers are bad at their job. I think Terry's going to highlight that. I think he'll be out of prison quickly. And I think he'll have a lot of video evidence against so-called upstanding member of the community, Daniel LaRusso, that he'll make public, and people will realize what really happened, and they'll go, whoa. I think it'll be a huge news story, and it could be the end of LaRusso Auto. Just a guess. TU Thunder, is there an age gap between Kreese and Silver? Yeah, a lot of people brought that up because in real life there is an age gap between Martin Cove and Thomas Ian Griffith, but I think it's possible that Kreese as a character is a few years older than Terry Silver, but I don't think they're that much. I don't think they're that different. It seems like Terry is maybe a bit younger than John Kreese, but not by too much. I think. Terry says, I do wonder how they will have Cobra Kai be able to join season 6 also. Yeah, we'll see. I think it will take, and who will run it? We don't know. What's going to happen with John Kreese? He got out of jail. Is he a fugitive? Is he going to flee the country? Is he going to go to South Korea and join up with Kim Daeun? Is he going to somehow get out of his legal peril? Unknown. Who's gonna run Cobra Kai? I don't know. Would it be weird if after all of this, Johnny went back and ran Cobra Kai again? I don't know. Anything's possible. Bryce Productions. Do you think Daniel will fight Kreese again, since it looks like Kreese is evil again? A Daniel versus Kreese fight in season 3 was short, so maybe the creators had it planned to have a longer fight in the future. You know, that's interesting. That's an interesting question, because we've seen Amanda, Daniel's wife, get very sympathetic towards John Kreese. So would Kreese as a character not be as hard on Daniel? Will they have a fight again? Or did they fight it out before? I don't know. And then you have like Daniel, who kind of went hardcore against Kreese in prison. He kind of reneged on the deal, which wasn't very nice of Daniel and Johnny. And I'm sure Kreese didn't enjoy that. It's possible they could fight again. I don't know though. It's tough though. I would think that Daniel, it looks like he has the tools to beat Kreese in a fight, but unless Kreese draws from some kind of reserve of, I don't know, thinking in ways that Daniel can't think, and maybe he can get the upper hand that way. I'm not sure. Peaceful Skull Gaming. I'd like to see Sean Payne in Cobra Kai, but obviously that would create an unstable relation with his brother Kenny. Yeah, it could. It absolutely could. Tig Terry Silver Rock says Silver and Kreese will have a showdown, bringing them back together stronger and better than ever. Yeah, that's a good idea. I like that idea. If it's possible to do that, I love the idea of Terry and John Kreese getting back together again, and maybe in a way that people don't realize that it's happened, and maybe their teaming up really is a force to be reckoned with, and they'll go onto the world stage and bring Cobra Kai, hopefully, to everyone, right? So, Talking Star Wars says, what do you think Terry's favorite Christmas movie is? If he had one. I'd probably say Home Alone. Also, Merry Christmas, Ken, and everyone. Merry Christmas to you too, Talking Star Wars. Thank you for joining us today. A favorite Christmas movie? I don't know. I'm tempted to say Bad Santa. Just kind of like a different take on Santa. What would be a good Christmas movie that Terry would enjoy? I think Terry Silver, he's obviously into music. He is obviously a master musician. So I would think something that would be musical. What would be a good musical Christmas movie? I don't know. Or maybe It's a Wonderful Life. Maybe he would enjoy the themes of It's a Wonderful Life, because it's very affirming that Terry Silver, as a person, the world would be entirely different if Terry Silver doesn't exist. And maybe he enjoys those themes of legacy and his contribution to the world. So maybe It's a Wonderful Life. Who knows? Talking Star Wars says the writers said there could be more after season 6. I think so. It seems like John, Josh, and Hayden have big plans for Cobra Kai going forward. So I'm excited to see what can happen. And maybe it's beyond season 6, multiple seasons. I sure hope so. Kim, do you think Robbie and Kenny's relationship can be repaired? Yeah, I think so. I think if there's anything we've learned from the series is that really any relationship can be repaired. We've had Daniel start out against Johnny. We had Robbie and Miguel. My goodness, look at what happened between them, and they're able to kind of reconcile. So I think anything could happen. Robbie and Kenny can be on the same side again, and maybe that means Terry Silver and John Kreese can be on the same side again. Right? Maybe. Cobra Edit says, I think season 6 will start off as a twist with Silver getting out straight away. I like it. And getting Mike, Daniel, and Johnny and Chosen put in jail so then he can continue to expand with Kim. Yeah, I could see that happening too. I love that, and I think all of the seeds are there for that to happen. Lucas says, I think Kreese is actually stronger than Terry and is just hiding his full strength. Yeah, it's interesting because maybe there was a reason why John Kreese was captain in the military. Maybe he had those leadership qualities. Maybe he had that sense of loyalty and compassion and responsibility that Terry didn't in the military. And maybe that's his strength if he can key into that. And not just in a threatening way, like remember who your captain is, like he kept on saying to Terry in season 4. Maybe he has those leadership qualities that Terry doesn't. I don't know. Of course, I love Terry Silver, and Terry has been a leader of many things in his life, and he's a billionaire. So it'd be interesting to see. Aurelio, thank you for being a channel member, Aurelio. Mary Mauser is pound for pound the best actor on Cobra Kai. She really has me believing she's distraught. Mary Mauser is really a fantastic actor. 100% agree with you. And I had the pleasure of seeing her in person twice and meeting her once. It's amazing because on Cobra Kai, she plays this very kind of like distraught character, as you said, and she does it very well. In person, she's just like positive energy. It's just this very intense positive energy that's very different than her character on Cobra Kai. And yeah, she's really fantastic. I'm a huge fan, and I think she can go anywhere with the character. If they write it a certain way, she can play anything. So I agree with you there. David Jarvis, Terry Silver's a nice guy. I agree. Everyone, go vote in the polls. Let's see how the polls are doing. Here's Twitter. Let's refresh this. Okay, we're up to 18 votes. Oh no, guys, it's gone back to naughty. Oh, that's too bad. It's a big T, Mr. Silver. It's okay. We just got to keep working to try to get the message out a little better. Maybe things are better on YouTube. Let's see. Let's take a look at that poll. Okay. Here we go. All right. High hopes here. What is it? What is it? Let's refresh. Oh gosh, 98 votes. And everyone, 74% says he's naughty. Terry Silver's naughty. Oh gosh. Yeah, I'm sorry, Mr. Silver. I'm working on it. I'm hoping people can change their tune. Maybe we're not done yet. This poll's got to go all the way to Christmas. So maybe more people will think you're nice. I am slightly discouraged by that reversal on Twitter, though. But we'll keep working on it, guys. Go ahead and vote in the poll whether you think Terry Silver is nice or naughty. And whether he deserves a present or a coal in his stocking. Although I guess he's in prison right now. Big T, we're trying to get you out. Remember, save silver, guys. Save silver. I just got this. I made some kind of fun merchandise. There's a link in the description. Probably can see it underneath the video. If you want to support Terry Silver through swag, then you can order this. And I have got actually. Let me throw this up here. Since you're watching this today. Use that code TerryXmas for 10% off the merch. The way these things work is like the prices are higher than you'd find in a normal store. So I'm trying to take that down a bit. If you're a channel member, finalist level or higher, so finalist or champion, check my channel because there's a code for 20% off. So use that if you're a channel member. That's an extra bonus. But for you guys and everyone watching this, just for watching the stream today, if you want any of that, you get 10% off. So there you go. Matt Moore, the world would be such a better place if we all just learned the values taught by Terry Silver: honesty, compassion, and fair play. I agree. And we need to hear more from Terry about those things. I think Daniel needs to learn from Terry about these things because that's not what he's doing. Think about that. Think about what Is Daniel honest? Is Daniel compassionate? With people he wants to be compassionate for. He has trouble being compassionate for who he thinks is an enemy. That's a problem. And fair play. Is Daniel, does he do fair play? No. He's a plotter. If he gets something in his brain, anything just, and the ends justify the means for Daniel, 100%. Peter says people should watch episode 505, which is season 5, episode 5, and see how he rewarded Stingray. Yeah, I know. It's really amazing. Look how generous Terry was. I mean, sure, you could say that was a bad thing that he did. Stingray kind of agreed to it. I'm not saying it's right. It's not right necessarily. I mean, he caught Terry, and Stingray caught Terry in a very vulnerable moment, and that was bad. But Terry tried to make up for it, and I think that's fair. I'm sure Terry paid for all of Stingray's medical care. He gave Stingray a life that he had never had before, and yeah, 100%. Peter, that's a really really good point. Mari says, we usually see what it's like to be on Terry's bad side. What do you think it would be like to be on his good side? Yeah, that's the great thing. And honestly, guys, I'm happy to say that's the life I've enjoyed. I'm living life on Terry Silver's good side, and it's great. I'm full of holiday cheer, full of lots of great things. Big T, if you're watching, 100%. But like Peter just said, what would it be like? Well, we could see that. Stingray was on Terry's good side. Look, he gave public adulation to Stingray. He gave him a place to live, gave him all the latest things, a place for his friends to come over and play D&D. Really a great thing. So many perks and so many benefits. So if there's a chance to work, Denitza said she wanted to work as HR manager for Dynatox. I think if there's a chance to work for him, that's a good thing. If there's a chance to befriend him, that's a good thing. Only good things happen. And that's what people have trouble realizing. What if Daniel decided to join with Terry Silver? My goodness, his family would be fine, drama-free. He might even let Miyagi-Do continue. We don't know. But MOTU Thunder, who will win in fights between Silver Kreese and versus Batman? This is interesting. I'm going to just say respectfully to John Kreese, I love the character, but let's take him out of the conversation. I just don't think, unless you're saying that Silver and Kreese are fighting together, but I don't think you even need John Kreese. Terry Silver versus Batman, because people have said that in a way, Terry Silver is very much like a Bruce Wayne or Batman. I know some people say Joker, but think about it. He's a billionaire philanthropist who is lethal. He is a master martial artist, and he can use his money for good or evil. I think it just comes down to if Batman's toys can incapacitate Terry Silver. The thing is, though, Terry Silver, I think, would be smarter than Batman. I think if he knew that Batman were a threat and understood who Batman was, he would purchase what he needed to purchase to counter Batman. And I think he could out-Batman Batman. Because, Terry Silver is an actual functioning, successful businessman who comes up with schemes, comes up with plots that are very successful. Bruce Wayne, he was just a, trust fund baby. That's it. I mean, he just happened to come from the right family, whereas Terry Silver really accomplished a lot. So I think Terry Silver's smarter. He's just as rich as Bruce Wayne. And I think as long as Batman didn't catch Terry Silver off guard, I think Terry Silver could bring down Batman. Just my opinion. Just my opinion. You may have different opinion. So Aurelio said, I know this is controversial, but maybe there's merit to this. Stingray wanted to get beat up. Well, it seemed like Stingray, that there was something strange going on there. And as I said, it's not an excuse. We all have failings. But Stingray kind of wanted to be beat up. And he caught Terry at a bad moment. I mean, Terry was drunk. He was in a weird place emotionally. It doesn't excuse him. But I would say that Terry made up for that. And I don't think Terry would beat up Stingray again. I think everyone can agree with that. Terry did his best to make up for it, and he wouldn't ever need to beat up Stingray ever again. He gave Stingray adulation for everything he's done. Jay says Terry was intoxicated. He wasn't, quote, all there in that moment. Agree. It was a weak moment. Aurelio, only dumb scene in season 5 was when Stingray told that little cute story. Well, yeah, I know. It's too bad that Stingray did that. I mean, I'm sure that all that D&D, the figures and the gear and stuff was paid for by Terry. So it's too bad that he used that stuff to tell that story. Yeah, and that's too bad. But Vizwan20, he presents his personality as a nice, educated, and honest person, but he's not honest. It's true. People could say that that's a failing. He's not totally honest. But sometimes if he were totally honest, would he be able to achieve what he's able to achieve? I'll tell you this. I think he was totally honest with Daniel. And Daniel didn't respond to that. Daniel still did what he wanted to do. So, I mean, I don't know. I think Terry tries the best he can. Christine, way too many emotions going down when he beat on Stingray. Yeah, there were a lot. Yeah, that was not a great moment for Terry. I agree, but none of us are perfect. Matt says, I don't even know what to do for New Year's with no Cobra Kai release. I agree. Here's what I'll say. Around New Year's, I am going to try to get something fun out that I think you'll enjoy, because I know that it's a time where we're all anticipating Cobra Kai. I kind of hope I'm glad that we got to see season 5 early this year, but I kind of hope we were all anticipating season 5 coming out now. That would have been fun, just because it feels like tradition. I like how it ties into the holidays. But so yeah, watch this channel. Go ahead and subscribe and hit notifications so you don't miss it. I'll hopefully get something fun out in time for New Year's, just to hopefully quench that Cobra Kai thirst. Peaceful Skull says, Stingray got a PS4 courtesy of Terry Silver. Yeah, indeed. And I just think it's a great thing to be friends with Terry Silver. You get so many perks. I understand people don't like Terry Silver, but just try. Devil's advocate, try to look at it from his perspective. Yeah, I think there's more than one side to things. Jay Wiggin, who has more money, Bruce Wayne or Terry Silver? Well, Terry Silver in Karate Kid 3 was a magnate. He was above the law. He was a billionaire. He had so much money. And in a deleted scene for season 4, there's that conversation between Terry Silver and John Kreese. There are lines alluding to the fact that he lost half his money after Karate Kid 3, but then made it back and then some. So he's richer now than he was in Karate Kid 3. So I think he's probably got more money than Bruce Wayne. I think that probably Terry Silver's up there with like a Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, maybe not that much, but I think he's probably up there. He's a billionaire. I think it would just be a question of like, maybe Bruce Wayne maybe has $5 billion and Terry Silver has $3 billion, but at that much money, they both would be able to buy the tools they would need for success, even in a fight. So I don't think the difference would be appreciable. Daniel, good to see you, Daniel. Wonderful to see you. I hope you're doing well. Happy holidays to you. Peter, if you're on Twitter, be sure to retweet Ken's poll. Thank you, Peter, and thank you for bringing up your poll. I want to bring this up. This is what started it all. Is Peter's Cobra Kai companion poll on Santa's list. Is Terry Silver nice or naughty? And I think it's a brilliant idea. For whatever reason, people voted naughty. So all I'm doing is trying to hit maybe some different people and see if we can get some more sympathetic, nice votes. I don't know. So far, it looks like everyone thinks he's naughty for whatever reason. I don't know. But so Peter, thank you. And also go follow Cobra Kai Companion Podcast. Just a wealth of interviews and information about the Miyagi-verse and Cobra Kai. Peter does such a fantastic job. And he's doing a fantastic job right now delivering all of your gifts throughout sleet and snow, fulfilling his vow. So thank you, Peter. Thank you for everything. Really appreciate it. Daniel says, save Silver. Agreed. Save Silver. Let's get him. Let's get him out of jail. Nycat, is Terry Silver a killer? We don't know what happened in the war, but I think that, and maybe you could argue he came close with Chosen at the end of season 5. I tend to think though that that's not quite his style. He doesn't need to do that. And I think unless it were some kind of existential threat where he thought it was in self-defense, I don't think he would murder people. I don't think he likes to do that. I think he would much rather control people. I think that's what he enjoys. He doesn't want to like get people out of the way. He wants to persuade people and control them and teach them a lesson. That's just my view. I don't think he has that in him. I don't think he has that in his heart to kill people and be a murderer. Daniel says, is there a chance for us to see a short-haired Terry Silver in season 6? Maybe he's forced to get a haircut in prison. That would be heartbreaking. Yeah. I mean, I think it's very possible. I like that idea because I don't think they would let him keep a ponytail in prison. I could be wrong. I've never been to prison myself, but that would be bad. But here's the thing, though, guys. I think Terry's going to get out pretty quickly. So he might get out, or he might make bail before he had to cut off his hair anyway. So, but I think it's a possibility. I think that's a great point, Daniel. I think it's very possible. Marianella says, did you know that Michael Keaton's Batman has the same voice actor in Latin Spanish as Terry Silver in Karate Kid 3? No way. Every time I see Batman and close my eyes, I can hear Terry Silver. That is fascinating. That's fascinating. And that brings up, that connection between Bruce Wayne, Batman, and Terry Silver. Maybe they're more similar than we thought. Certainly the people casting these roles thought that the same voice actor would work for both characters. That's fascinating. Thank you, Marianelle. I didn't know that. Thank you for your comment. Flip the Script says, season 6, episode 1, the rise of the silver-haired king. I love it. Right. And that would be great. People just thought that Terry Silver was in jail, but no, he's not. I mean, come on, guys. That's very weak sauce that they're accusing him with. Aurelio says, and thank you again for being a channel member, what's the deal with Rembrandt's Storm on the Sea of Galilee? Barnes stole it. Yes. And I'm sure Mike Barnes doesn't even know the history of that painting. He probably just knows that it's valuable, which tells you a bit about Barnes. Maybe he's not all that. Maybe he still hasn't figured out his morality since he was a kid. But that Talking Straight with Nate, who's been on here before, has made a point that painting was stolen from the Gardner Museum in Boston. So either Mike is going to try to sell it on the black market, or he will return it, hopefully for a reward, to the Gardner Museum in Boston. As we know, that's where we last saw both Julie Pierce and Colonel Dugan was in Boston in the next Karate Kid. So that's a really cool connection of that painting to Boston. And who knows, that might be the thing that ties those together. That's kind of a fun idea if the writers are thinking that. I like that. Cobra Edit says, I want to see a huge Halloween brawl with everyone in costumes next season because we haven't had that yet. LOL. And season 6 is in the fall. Yeah, that would be fun. Just obviously the first Karate Kid started around Halloween, and we got to see Halloween celebrated. We got to see it in season 1. And it would be fun to see everyone dress up again. And who knows, maybe Allie could come back. We could see her in costume again. Elizabeth Shue, that would be incredible. And then who knows, a fight will break out. I love that idea. That's great. MOTU, we did not see Mike Barnes in season 5 that much. It's true. Yeah, we didn't. I wish we did. I thought Sean Kanan did a fantastic job coming back as Mike Barnes. And you can see how good he is. He can play very fierce, like he did in Karate Kid 3, or he could play just a really nice guy, or a guy who's very charming, disarming, very nice. So that would be my wish for season 6, is we get a lot more Mike Barnes too, whatever he does. Robana, it's great to see you. Hi, just dropping by to say Merry Christmas, Ken. I hope you have a great one. Merry Christmas to you too, Robana. It's great to see you. Thanks as always for being a channel member. And for wishing us a Merry Christmas. Wonderful to have you here. Peter says his poll is now 80-20. Okay. So if we bring it back up, let's bring this poll back up. Before it was 81-19. So we've made some progress. That's wonderful, Peter. We'll see. Let's I don't know. Let's see if we can check back here. This is the YouTube poll. Is Terry Silver nice or naughty? Oh, man, with 107 votes, it looks like it's kind of holding steady. I'm sorry, Big T. I'm sorry, Terry Silver. It looks like most people think you're naughty. I am sorry. Let's see. Let's go over the Twitter poll. Are things going to be different? I'm not sure that they are, but we'll at least give it a shot. All right, let's refresh this, guys. Oh no. Okay. 31 votes, 71-29. Well, at least there's a higher proportion now that generally that thinks that he's nice. So that's good. So thank you guys for voting in the poll. I really appreciate it. Definitely, if you haven't voted yet, vote any way you want. We just are interested in the truth here. Because if we know that people think he's naughty, then we have work to do. And maybe that's something we could share with Mr. Silver himself, that we gotta we gotta push his image, make him seem nicer for next Christmas, right? So that's great. Peaceful Skull Gaming says Team Silver. Yes, hashtag Team Silver. Yes. Emmett. Hey, Emmett. Great to see you. Wonderful to see you. Peter says the USPS exists so Santa can deliver the remaining packages in one night. Oh my gosh. Peter is doing this right now. He is on the front lines, and my heart goes out to Peter, but also my gratitude. Peter, Mikey G, and everyone else who is delivering packages for us right now, probably because a lot of us have sent them out late. They are trying their hardest to get them to people by tomorrow. And you'll have to tell me, Peter, are you guys going to be delivering on Christmas? I've heard that before, and that's happened before, where I've gotten deliveries to my house on Christmas Day. And that's just amazing if postal workers go above and beyond to do that. And I just hope you get a very long vacation in Tahiti. We'll ask Mr. Silver to give you that for Christmas, but thank you for all that you do. We've got Aurelia said the only villain who could defeat Silver is General Zod. I love that, and that's only while on planet Earth when Zod has those special powers. Well, that's an interesting point. General Zod, yes, in a physical fight, yes. But I would make the case, could Terry Silver be as intelligent or more intelligent than Lex Luthor? And would Terry Silver have done a better job working with General Zod than Lex Luthor did? It's an open question. Terry Silver, hello, Rabana, Merry Christmas. Indeed. Kim, Daniel, they cut my favorite villain's hair. Yeah, exactly. Jay says, right, if you kill someone, they're not a pawn anymore. Exactly. Tig Terry Silver rocks. Thank you for becoming a member, guys. There's so many ways to help support this channel if you enjoy this content. The cheapest one is free, and it's just to subscribe. Subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell. Subscribing, it's free. It's fun. You feel so good after you do it. And then you get notified if you hit that bell every time something new comes out, you get a notification. And so if you want to help support the channel, definitely subscribe. If you want to do more than that, you can become a channel member. And I thank Tig Terry Silver Rocks for becoming a member of the channel. It really helps keep the lights on. It helps to pay for things, for instance, like this. Even the streaming software, there's a monthly fee, and there are all these kinds of like little fees, and so it all adds up. And thank you, channel members, for helping to support the channel. A note that if you are a finalist or above channel member, there's a coupon code for 20% off the store. So definitely check that out. And everyone watching the stream right now, if you want any Save Silver merchandise, you can use the code TerrySilverXmas for 10% off merch through the end of the year. So thank you guys for watching. You only know that if you watch this stream. So thank you. Thank you very much. Let's see. Cobra Edits says, if the painting ends up being fake because Terry has the real one in a vault, then Barnes would still be broke. So maybe he could claim his 50% with Kim to compete in the big tournament. Now that's interesting. Mike Barnes working with Sensei Kim. I don't know. It's kind of fascinating, Mike Barnes. We didn't see much of him. Is he the good guy he seems? Is he a bit of a loose cannon? Would he descend back and go back to his old ways given the right motivations? Who knows? He could be pretty powerful with Sensei Kim. And it seemed like he's still quite a good fighter for not having done karate for 30 years too. So how interesting. Aiming Wonder says, Ken Cole, do you think Kreese will try to help Silver? That's a really fascinating question. I think if it's done right, there could be a way where they would end up where they could be working on the same side. I think a lot would have to happen, and it would have to be done just the right way. But maybe there's possibility that they could get to a point where Terry and Silver are back on the same team, because I think they're stronger together than apart. That's just my thoughts. Kim says, and I guess Terry said, longer episodes indeed. That would be nice. It'd be interesting actually. What if we got longer episodes? I don't know if it makes a difference, but what if we got longer episodes but fewer episodes? Maybe instead of, I don't know. The one thing I miss, I think, with so many characters in these later seasons, they've done a good job. But I wish we could spend a little more time with characters in their scenes. I felt like in season 1 it was perfect. There weren't as many characters then, but it seems like this half-hour limit kind of limits, all those moments. So maybe there's a way to do that somehow. Maybe longer episodes is the key. Maybe it's possible. I don't know. I just saw it. What happened here? Oh, I gotcha. I thought maybe it was yes, we started a little while ago. I thought that maybe there was some kind of announcement about season 6, but no, not yet, I guess. You guys, please let me know. I'm not watching the news right now, but please let me know if there are announcements about season 6. We'll go on a few more minutes here. I just enjoy spending time with all of you. Thank you for watching live. And if you're watching on the replay, go ahead and leave a comment. I read all of those as well. And so you don't have to be watching live to participate. So it's wonderful to have you all here. Daniel says, Terry's a hero with the power of a villain, someone you just don't want to mess with. Yeah, he put it perfectly. Danny Boy can't leave things well enough alone. And well, he got the fangs. Terry didn't have bad intentions. Yeah, I mean, Terry said it to Tori. It's all about survival. And if you threaten Terry's survival, those fangs are going to come out, the Cobra fangs, maybe with a little poison. You got to be careful. Peter says, not tomorrow because it falls on the Sunday. We're observing Christmas on Monday. I gotcha. Okay. I had a question of if they would be delivering last minute gifts on Sunday, but it looks like that's not going to happen. It'll have to wait till Monday. My goodness, you guys work so hard. Jedi Knights, Lex Luthor is the smartest DC character. Yes, he is. 100%. I agree. I wonder, though, is Terry Silver, being a non-DC character, smarter, perhaps, than Lex Luthor? What would happen? What would happen if Terry Silver went up against Lex Luthor? I don't know. Throw that out there. I think that's interesting. I think that's an interesting question. MOT Thunder, do you think Terry Silver's like James Bond? Interesting. I don't know. That's a good point because they kind of made some offhanded joke that he was like a Bond villain. But could Terry Silver be more like James Bond himself? Maybe. People have said I made a video about Terry Silver. Is he a psychopath? Maybe he is. I think I kind of came to the conclusion that he fulfilled a lot of the criteria of a psychopath. But you could also make an analysis that James Bond's actually a psychopath. We like James Bond. He's a hero, but actually he possesses a lot of the character traits of a psychopath, just the way he behaves. That would be kind of an interesting video to do. How is James Bond a psychopath? So maybe James Bond and Terry Silver have a lot in common. We don't know. Hello again, Robana. Good to see you. Jedi Knight edits. Chosen, handshake Terry Silver, Karate Kid 3 and season 5. Yeah. I will say I loved episode 2 when Chosen and Terry came to an understanding. It was so amazing, the idea of Chosen actually being friends with Terry Silver. And we got to see that side of Terry. It's like, what if Terry is happy to be associated with you? What if he's happy to have a kindred spirit? And we got to see a little bit of that joy in Terry. And I think that if Terry got to be more joyful, imagine how he would make the holiday season that much better. So, anyway, I think that's a really great point. Let's see. Kim says, Daniel, Terry did apologize. At first, he didn't think he was sincere, but he didn't understand Daniel was still bitter. Terry had changed. He didn't want a war. That's a really good point. In his own way, some of you might think it's not the best, most effective way. Terry did try to apologize to Daniel. And go back and see how many times Terry tried to warn Daniel. And with good reason, don't you think? Like Terry said, stop. Dude, you are stepping on my territory. You are crossing my boundaries right now. Please stop. You need to stop. But Daniel wouldn't stop because Daniel doesn't respect boundaries. Yeah, he thinks that the world should operate the way he thinks, that Daniel should control everything. Maybe with some good reason. He had some trauma, but think about that. Daniel's not really respecting boundaries, and Terry did the mature professional thing and tried to put up those boundaries and tell him, "Hey dude, you're stepping on my territory." There's nothing wrong with that. I don't think. Nerd World, I wish everyone Merry Christmas and wonderful holidays. Thank you so much. And the same back to you. I hope that you have a great holiday season, great day tomorrow if you're celebrating. If you're celebrating Hanukkah, happy Hanukkah. If you're celebrating Christmas tomorrow, Merry Christmas. Everyone, I wish that for all of you as well. Hope you have a wonderful holiday. Robana, Daniel had PTSD. He hadn't seen nor probably even thought about Terry Silver, so can't blame him for panicking. Yeah, I know. It's interesting. I wonder if Terry came at Daniel a different way. Daniel might have reacted differently. Maybe he could have won Daniel back over again. Who knows? I don't know. But I guess Daniel, you have to admit, if you're going to play with anyone, Daniel's kind of fun to play with. He can, as Terry said, wind him up and let him go. It's kind of fun to watch, don't you think? Nerd World says what we need more of is Chosen Mike and Johnny dynamic. I really loved it. Yeah, it was really good. Jay Wiggins says Silver could hide Kreese from the law, but then use that as leverage to reunite. Yeah. There are ways that Terry could right the wrongs that he did to Kreese. Terry would be the one with resources to get Kreese out of legal trouble. And he could make it right. Maybe he thinks that having Kreese on board would be a good thing. So yeah, there are ways to make it happen. Gosh, guys, this has been really fantastic. I can't believe we've gone almost an hour and a half just talking with you guys, taking some comments about Terry. And think about it. If you could ask Terry, if Terry Terry Silver was Santa Claus, what would you ask him for? Yeah, it's a fun question. Even beyond the live stream today. Yeah, what would you ask Terry for Christmas? Yeah, I don't know. That's a really good question. So Jedi Knight, do you think anyone can die in Cobra Kai and how? Well, we've seen some of the minor characters die, like obviously Captain Turner. There's the big death, I think, was Tommy. To me, obviously, that was death of an original character. I think that's been the only one so far, and that I think made me feel two emotions at once. One was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they killed Tommy, and then when they zipped him up in the body bag, I mean, that was almost funny, but it was just a really, I don't know. I felt very conflicted about that. I think it's a tricky thing. I think they did it well. I think it's a tricky thing though. If you kill off any big characters, it's going to have a lot of weight to it. So I don't know. And you can make that argument. Does the series allow for that? Do you want that kind of weight on a series like Cobra Kai? Because it's almost like you escape into this world where you don't have to worry about those things. Oh, Siri's talking to me. Sorry, guys. Siri's talking to me here. Put that down. Yeah, I don't know. So I don't know. That's a good question. That's a good question. Okay, let's see. Donnie, good to see you, Donnie. Hello, Ken and all, and Merry Christmas Eve. Hope everyone is well this afternoon. I hope so too. I hope you guys are, if you are preparing for Christmas, I hope your preparations are going well. I hope you're not too crazy today. Hopefully you'll find something fun to eat, a cup of hot cocoa or a cup of, whatever. Make the holidays go down more smoothly. 100%. Courtney McIntosh. Hi, Ken. How you doing, Courtney? It's great to see you. Wonderful to see you, Art. Wonderful to see you all. And thank you for saying hi. Have a wonderful holiday. Thank you so much. Wonderful to see you. Brian, good to see you too. Thanks for Cobra Kai coverage this year. Great job. Thank you. I appreciate it. And it's fun. I hope I can keep doing it. I think there'll be more Cobra Kai season 6. I hope there's an announcement for at least Cobra Kai season 6 and 7. So hopefully we can keep this going. And definitely subscribe to this channel if you're not subscribed. Help support the channel. Totally free. Makes you feel good. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything going forward, because we love to have these conversations as much as possible. Peaceful Skull says Dennis is a beast in martial arts in real life. He is. William Christopher Ford is just, not only is he an incredible martial artist, he played Dennis in Karate Kid 3. but he is a great guy. He has appeared on the live KenCast. We got him. we met. I got to meet him right in front of the kind of the fake Cobra Kai dojos in the Grove. There's a video. Go check it out. It is so much fun, and I'm looking forward to having him back. And we were talking about maybe doing some things together, some video projects together. So he's absolutely wonderful. He is like just a cool dude. It's like you meet him and just you immediately feel total calm. Just very giving, very, very genuine, wonderful guy to have as a teacher too. He's a teacher of martial arts, so he's great. Terry Johnson says, I hope you get all you want for Christmas, kid. Thank you so much, Terry. I appreciate it. The same to you too. And I'll be honest with you, all I want for Christmas is this. It's wonderful to obviously spend time with family and friends, but my friends around the world here who follow this channel, it's wonderful to talk with you. So thank you. I've already gotten what I want for Christmas, and thank you guys for joining today. Peaceful Skull says, I want Dennis back. Yeah, that's right. Hashtag Dennis lives. 100%. I would love him to come back in future seasons of Cobra Kai. And Emmett says, do you think Kreese will be more dangerous and villainous now he's escaped? Yeah, he's definitely a dangerous guy. We'll see. He's in a tough legal pickle. He's a fugitive. I guess he could handle that pretty well because he's done special forces. But will he stay in the United States or will he flee the country? That's a good question. We'll see. Maybe he'll go to South Korea. Maybe he'll go back and wherever Sensei Kim is and make contact, because it seemed like he had a good relationship back in the day in the flashbacks with a very young Sensei Kim. So, and she did ask for him specifically. So maybe he has more sway with her. So that will be very interesting. Well, thank you all so much for joining today and for voting in the poll. I guess before we go, let's see one more time. Let's see where the polls are, whether Terry Silver is naughty or nice. So with 39 votes on Twitter so far, we've got naughty for Terry Silver at 71.8%, but a solid 28.2% say he's nice. That's great. And then we have another one, a YouTube poll, which I'll bring up, and we'll just check one more time to see how this is going. And let's see. Okay, let's refresh this. Let's refresh it. Are we doing any better? So with 117 votes, okay, nice is 27% and naughty is 73%. So we'll keep these polls up, guys, and hopefully more people can see that Terry Silver is not the bad guy. He's actually, in a way, could embody the spirit of Christmas, and we're thankful to him. We're very thankful for Thomasine Griffith, who plays Terry Silver and gives him all the joy that character has, that I'm not sure any other actor in the world could bring to the character. Terry has his plans and things he wants to do, and there's a certain level of joy that Thomasine Griffith brings to that character. Dare I say, the joy of Christmas. Yes. So that's wonderful. So guys, thank you for, okay. One last update. Peter's mine's back to 8119. Oh, it's that anti-silver propaganda. It's going to be a lot to fight against, So Kim says, thanks, Ken. Terry's both. Yes, you're welcome. Nerd World says, if the big three do it right, they can bring everyone back like Julie Pierce. The Alpha Elite. Interesting. Daryl Vidal. I agree. Daryl Vidal should make an appearance. And Dutch. Yeah, if we can, I don't know. It's interesting. I know Chad McQueen's family has said that he's not coming back as Dutch. Somehow, maybe that's an extra Christmas wish. Maybe he'll change his mind and come back. That would be a holiday miracle, maybe. So it's wonderful. Thank you for joining today. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. If you've enjoyed this video today, hit that notification bell. But above all, I wish you all a very happy holidays. If you celebrate Hanukkah, if you celebrate Christmas, I hope you have a wonderful season with family and friends and our friend Terry Silver. I hope you're filled with joy, and thank you all for joining today in the live chat. You filled me with joy. If you're watching on the replay, leave a comment, say hi. Thank you for watching on the replay. And then I would like to close today by giving you my own personal reading of The Night Before Christmas. So I'll leave this to you, and I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful holiday. I'll see you next time on KenCast. Here is A Night Before Christmas. Ho ho, this is Ken, and I hope you're having a wonderful holiday season. And if you'd like to spread that holiday cheer throughout the whole year, go ahead and hit subscribe or follow my page. Thank you very much. And tonight, I want to share with you one of my favorite Christmas stories of all time, The Night Before Christmas. So go ahead, grab a warm blanket, start that fire, and grab a nice hot mug of cocoa as we read The Night Before Christmas. 'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. And Mama in her kerchief, and I in my cap, just settled our brains in for a long winter's nap. When out on the lawn there rose such a clatter, I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters, and threw up the sash. The moon on the breast of the new fallen snow gave a luster of midday to the objects below, when what to my wondering eye should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer. With a little old driver so lively and quick, in a moment I knew it must be St. Nick. More rapid than eagles his coursers they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donder and Blitzen, to the top of the porch, to the top of the wall. Now dash away, dash away, dash away all. As dry leaves that before the hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle mount to the sky, so up to the housetop the coursers they flew, with a sleigh full of toys, and St. Nicholas too. And then, in a twinkling, I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. As I drew in my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed all in fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. His eyes, how they twinkled, and his dimples, how merry. His cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard on his chin was as white as the snow. The stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke, it encircled his head like a wreath. He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. Ho, 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 ho. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work, and filled all the stockings, then turned with a jerk, and laying his finger aside of his nose, and giving a nod, whoop, up the chimney he rose. He sprang on his sleigh, to his team he gave a whistle, and away they all flew, like the down of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim, ere he drove out of sight, Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. Thank you for joining me tonight. And on this very special Christmas night, I wish you and yours the very best.